Yo, what's going on? It's Youngblood, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live. Let's go.
This year has just been insane.
Yeah,
You've been touring
crazy.
all over the world. Like, what the? You're still a new artist? Like, how did all this happen?
I don't know, man. I just think literally just kind of the songs just started connecting. You know what I mean? And then literally I was just like, I want to go everywhere. I want to reach as many people as I can. And it's like, work me hard, man. And that's it. You know what I mean? It's just kind of been so exciting and yeah, we're just getting started.
And I know, all of this is exciting, but at the same time, I know like anxiety is a big thing for you. So how did you kind of cope with anxiety now that, there's more people involved in your life? There's more fans, there's more tours, like all this stuff that's going on.
So funny, man. You were actually, I was literally talking about this with my producer because we're just literally writing some new music.
Yeah.
Just about that. And I think it's obviously, like, anxiety has been a big part of my life, like, all my life. You know what I mean? I think it's such a mythical thing to me. Like, you can get up and the sun's shining and there's a knot in your stomach. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it just comes out of nowhere. But I think just the way I deal with it is I write about it and I talk about it and I find, like, answers. You know what I mean? The amount of times that I speak to people about it, it's like, the more times you can see people feeling the same as you, the easier it is to kind of comprehend. Right. You know what I mean? It's just like not just me. You know what I mean? And there's a whole movement of people out there who feel the same, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's true, and I see that you constantly talk to your fans, and you're always there for them, 100%. Just like they're there for you. So I'm sure that helps a lot more because I always love the fact that like artists write about these kind of feelings, about these issues that we go through that are hard to touch on, but sometimes like they keep it to themselves at the same time. But you're releasing it to your fans and bringing it back in.
That's what I was saying. Like I just feel like. Because at the end of the day, all I'm doing is saying what I think. You know what I mean? I don't want to tell people how to feel, how to think, how to look, how to do whatever. I'm just saying it's okay for you to express yourself no matter what. Right. You know what I mean? This album, like, for me, like, as an outlet for people who feel like they can't be themselves or feel like they can't say what they think or feel like their voice ain't important. You know what I mean? It is. And that's why I kind of stay behind. I want to eliminate the barrier between, like, an artist and an audience. Right. You know what I mean? Because the reason I'm doing it, I'm not, you know what I mean? The reason I'm doing it is to connect to people. That's the most powerful thing to me, is to kind of like, oh man, you feel the same as me. That's sick. Right. You know what I mean? That's what I want. And as I say, yeah, that's like, as the room size have started increasing and more people have been turning up to the shows and I'm getting to meet new people and more people, it's kind of just crazy. It just kind of keeps me going. Everyone's like, how are you in like 12 different time zones a week? I'm literally like, bruv, like, it's the people, man. They keep me going. You know what I mean?
Right. Isn't it crazy how, how artists can do that today? They can, I mean, you experienced it what was it, 4 shows in 24 hours. You can be in so many different places in so little time.
There's just no excuses anymore. Do you know what I mean? It's like modern technology can take you anywhere.
Right, most definitely. Now, before we actually talk about the album, I want to talk about this collaboration you did with Charlotte Lawrence.
Hell yeah.
Which is incredible. She's another like new artist as well, and she's like killing it in the game.
Yeah, man.
But I know this was for the Netflix series, but like, how did you guys come together in the studio, and what was that experience like?
It was weird, man. I actually met her out, and we were mates before we got in a studio together. Wow. You know what I mean? And like, kind of, I met her, and I was like, I listened to her music, and I thought she was really cool. But I didn't know what she was like, you know what I mean? Because that was the first time I come to LA, and you can get preconceptions of people. Right. And you know what? She was actually so real, and she was just like so chill and like down to earth, and she was talking about music in a way that I was like, fuck me, man, you're really passionate about it. And like,
really excited about it.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I think like right now it's so easy for people just to be like, oh yeah, what am I going to do? I'm going to do music. Do you know what I mean? Or whatever, because
it's like the easy way out to them in a way.
Exactly. And to her, she was like so passionate about it, and I was just like, I love that, man. And I was like, I've written a song that's like a duet. She kind of show you it, and she loved it, and she came in the studio and got it done in 2 takes. So I was like, great.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's great. I loved how it sounded. You guys collaborated. I mean, your voices sound great together.
Yeah, man. And I knew it. As soon as I heard her voice, I was like, you've got to jump on this for me. And that's what I'm saying. Like, even in her songs, when she talks about, do you know what I mean? She talks very openly about kind of what's going on in her life. And I was like, that's what the song's about. You know what I mean? It's very about being totally real and talking about what's going on in the world, you know. So I was like, I gotta do it, man. And she sounded sick, so I was like, great.
Now talking about what's going on in the world, that's what 21st Century Liability is. And to me, like I just had this conversation yesterday with another artist, and I was saying like politics, death, and religion are one of the hardest topics to tackle in music. So what was it like going into the studio with Martin, Matt, and Dave, and like creating this record and opening up with everything that you said?
It was kind of weird, man, like, because the record is just an accumulation of stuff that's gone on in my life. So the first record came out, King Charles, and I realized that I could do it. I could talk about what I wanted to in a way that wasn't preaching to anybody, that didn't feel like morbid. I was like, okay, man, and I kind of figured out that that's 100% my path. Do you know what I mean? I was just like, because I didn't know how these songs were gonna go down. Right. You know what I mean? But then when people were relating to them, and then people started talking to me, and that connection that I talked about earlier, man, that just fuels me to keep writing and keep writing and keep writing. Because right now, man, my generation, we ain't bratty kids rebelling against the system for rebelling against the system's sake. We're not stupid. Do you know what I mean? We're a very, very, very intelligent generation who see a world that they want to be a part of, and
I think they're more open-minded than anybody else in the world today.
That's it. But I have a clear visualization, an understanding of anybody can express themselves in a way that they want to and want to live in a world like that. But I couldn't believe it wasn't been talked about in music, or you know what I mean? It's everyone's like tiptoeing around something, or they'll touch upon it. I'll be like, oh man, politics. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, the world's bad, and it's, you know what I mean? Like you watch like award speeches, and people are like, oh yeah, man, we got to change the world, and then they go back and like drink the fucking Moe. Do you know what I mean? And that's fine, but it's just like everyone's tiptoeing around a subject. It needs to represent something, and be something real, man. You know what I mean? If it's real, it'll resonate.
I think the only artists that I can think of right now that have actually been honest about it every time they've put it on records or songs is Rage Against the Machine or Rise Against.
Hell yeah.
Anybody else, I don't think has anybody else has done that.
I kind of like Jessie Reyez at the minute as well.
Oh my gosh, she's incredible.
That's what I mean, because I'm kind of feeling that a lot from her, and I love that because she just literally like doesn't give a fuck, man. Do you know what I mean? It's just flat out, just straight up, and that's what we got to be now, because there's so much bullshit floating around everywhere, and there's so much anxiety to put yourself out there. Just be real, and if everyone's real, you got nothing to be scared about. Right. You know?
Now, as you're kind of like writing these songs, like which one do you feel from the record kind of challenged you the most to actually put it out to the world?
Probably Kill Somebody, I think. Yeah. Just because that was it's like, as I was just saying earlier, like a lot of the records were like about stories or about other like scenarios that I'd witnessed and what I wanted to talk about. But that record was directly like talking about what was going on in my own head. Do you know what I mean? From a personal, really dark place perspective, but do you know what, man? I kind of figured out that if I talk about it, it can heal it for a little while. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was good for me, and it's been crazy to see how many people have related to that. It's sick.
Now, as you're performing that song, for example, over and over again at all these festivals and shows that you're doing, does that song still have the same meaning to you, or has it like helped you out a lot more?
100%, man. It's like I look at, if I find different people, and I just got to find one person connecting to it and singing it back, and I'm like, this song is a new song. Wow. Do you know what I mean? It kind of represents and it becomes, it's weird, man. It becomes like a thing for both of us to share. I never want it to be like, I'm gonna sing now and you're gonna listen to me. I want it to be like you take the second chorus because it means as much to you as it does to me.
You need them to connect with the song.
You know what I mean? And that's it, man. That's my favorite shows, and that's the best thing, and that's the kind of the ultimate formula, if you like, of kind of being the front man I want to be. Like, it's about making sure that everybody is just, you know what I mean, in a safe place where you can feel like you can just go mental. Right. I want my world, if you like, to be an outlet for people to just jump in and escape from wherever they are and just go feel like they can go completely mad with no one judging them. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to get naked in the crowd, then that's fine, man. Yeah. You know what I mean?
To each their own, right?
Ain't it? Flat out, bro. I will if you do.
Now, aside from like the songwriting, which your lyricism is incredible.
Thank you.
Aside from the songwriting, I love the different sounds that you have on this record.
Oh, yeah?
I love, you know, the strings that you have on.
yeah, man.
There's two. Anarchist, I think, is
Yeah.
one of them, and I can't remember the second one that you have. Like the strings, you can hear the strings pretty heavy.
Kill somebody, and we got strings on Polygraph Eyes and stuff. Yeah, man. I love
that orchestra feel.
Flat out, man. I'm just like with Anarchist, man. We were listening to Eleanor Rigby at the time. Do you know what I mean, by the Beatles and.
Yeah.
And I think it's just an accumulation of different genres of music that I just love. You know what I mean? I'm just like you got to take Psychotic Kids, for example. Do you know what I mean? I was literally like, how can we squeeze 5 different genres of music into one song, but make it feel like a part of my head? Because my head is a million miles an hour all the time. And I wanted the record to feel like that. Like, and some people are like, oh man, there's too much going on for me. And I'm like, sick. But this is what my albums are always going to be like.
Right.
Because I do not have a definitive mood on a day. I walk into a studio and go, right, let's be totally open-minded. Yeah. Or I love being like out of my comfort zone. It's like, why would my next record sound like my last record? That it just doesn't make sense to me. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Now, as you've been kind of in the studio lately, do you feel like your songwriting has changed or evolved a lot within, you know, the last year? It hasn't even been a whole year yet.
It's kind of weird, man. I think it always will. Like I look at artists, like I look at like Bowie, and I look at like writers like Joe Strummer, and I look at Alex Turner, I look at Eminem, I look at, you know what I mean, I look at the Beastie Boys. They developed, you know what I mean. I want to develop as a writer. I never want to be able to go like, right, this is what we're expecting from Youngblood. Right. This is what, like, you know what I mean. It's like you can almost visualize what the next record's gonna be like. Yeah. So I love about the new Pilots record as well. It's just like the always moving, always changing, and just going like, do you know what, that's been touched upon so many times, so let's do, how can we steer it in another direction that's gonna make people go, oh shit.
Right. Now, you know, you also released the Unplugged version of a few songs, and I'm gonna be honest with you, when I first saw Unplugged on it, I was a little nervous. I was a little skeptical to listen to it, because, you know, when I listen to your album, it's energy, it's you know, it's screaming, jumping, everything. So I was nervous to see what it would sound like in the Unplugged version. And then I played it, and just incredible as well. Anarchist is probably my favorite Unplugged. Oh, sick, the piano is incredible on that.
In here, in the studio, literally like round the corner. Yeah. And that was it, man. I just wanted to like kind of take the elephant to the production and everything else behind it, because I want people to hear the songs. I want people to hear like, cause all the songs are really about something. Do you know what I mean? Like, and the lyrics and stuff. And I wanted people to be able to just like feel something different in a song. I think that's sick, man. A song can make you feel 15 different ways in the way it's kind of presented, you know what I mean? And then obviously like the first productions were like my mad head and what I wanted to do, and I love playing them live like that. But then I was like, you know what, I want to totally strip them back and just be like, these are the songs, these are what they're about. I hope you know what I mean, let's have it. Yeah,
no, that was definitely perfect. Now, you know, now that the record's out, you've been touring throughout the whole year, you've been taking over every freaking festival out there. Like, I don't know how you're still here with so much energy. But what have, you know, all these different festivals taught you, especially on the live show? Because I mean, you just started and you're hitting mega stages.
Yeah, like, it's crazy. I think, to be honest, man, it's like, as I always said from my live show, I want people to leave exhausted. Yeah. I don't want people to go, oh, that was all right. Do you want to go get some food? Yeah. I want people to be like, that was the best thing I've ever seen. I want to die now. Do you know what I mean? It's like, because that's what I used to be like when I went to like an Oasis concert, or, you know what I mean, when I first saw Eminem for the first time at Leeds Fest. You know what I mean? It was just like, it was, to me.
I'm jealous you actually went to an Oasis concert.
Yeah, oh, crazy, man. It was just like, and it's just that feeling of magic, do you know what I mean, where you leave a part of yourself on a stage, and if you've not done that, then you've not done your job right. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I think I just miss incredible like performers. You know what I mean? Like, I loved like Jagger, I loved Freddie Mercury. I saw Alex Turner at Lollapalooza, and he was just amazing. He kind of brought that old school feeling back. You know what I mean? And I don't know, man. I just love a show. Yeah. You know what I mean? You literally cannot beat a show.
Right. What do you feel has been your biggest challenge so far?
Ooh, biggest challenge. Washing my bloody pink socks every night. How many times?
You don't have a different pair for every day, like.
No, I do. But we got like 35 in circulation. But yeah, man, I think obviously a lot of things are challenging. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think kind of as it gets bigger and stuff, it's kind of you get like asked a lot more questions from kind of and it's like it's been weird because it's starting to get bigger, and I never want to lose that connection with the people, because that's what it means. You know what I mean? That's what means the most to me. So I always kind of stay back for as long as I can and do that, because it's hilarious. At the start I would stay for the whole thing, but then it starts to get to like a 2.5 hour meet and greet, and when you're doing like a 25-day tour with like 2 days off, it's like you can only meet as many people, and that's hard for me, you know what I mean? Because like I love meeting them, and it's like, and I connect so much to them all. But it's good, man, and it's kind of just I'm finding them that connection on stage when I see it in the faces, and we're singing back to each other, and then we meet each other after the show, and it's the best, man. It's sick.
That's incredible. Now you're about to get ready for your North American tour.
I am.
And you know, what can fans expect on this tour? This is your first like headline out here in the States.
Like literally, I'm gonna come with a bang, man. Do you know what I mean? I literally want every show to be unforgettable, because these venues, like, these are my favorites, man. It's the first time I'm coming to America. Yeah. It's the first time I'm doing these, like, these.
Come a long way from the Viper Room.
So, exactly. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, I want these people to be like, I saw him in that venue on his first American tour, and I'm excited, man. I just can't wait to meet people, connect to new people, and let's go. Let's have it.
Woo! Now I'm gonna give you some random collaboration ideas, and I don't know. I just feel like it would work.
Dope.
Marshmello.
I'd love to do that, man.
Dua Lipa.
Sick, great.
Jessie Reyez for sure.
Flat out.
And there's a band called the Fever 333. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Oh, mate, I've heard of them. I've actually not heard the music, though.
Oh, you got to check them out.
Around them. Like, a lot of people are talking about.
You got to check them out. I think like you guys would do something sick.
I love that, man. Flat out. They were good, man. I'll take those 4. Listen, if you're watching, one of you 4, give me a call. Yeah, whatever.
There we go. I'll have them call you personally.
Flat out. Thank you, man.
All right, dude. Youngblood, thanks for hanging out with me. You guys be sure to check out Youngblood. Sorry, my hands are so sweaty. It's so hot today. But check out Youngblood. He's on tour. North American tour kicks off in a couple of weeks. And thanks for watching here on Front Row Live.